Yo, what's up, world? What's up, world? It's your boy Vance Vladi, also known as Bird's Eye View, better known as Melanin that's woke. We're checking in, man. Just wanted to offer a little the conversation, if you will, with the Brittney Griner case. And I'm sure it's been all across your your headlines. I'm sure you done heard a little bit about it, if not a lot about it. And I refrain from a lot of these topics from like initially right away jumping in and offering an analysis or reflection or, perspective. But this Brittney Griner case is very interesting, very interesting. And I guess I'll start my conversation piece to say like it's unfortunate the situation that she's in. Cause I'm one of those people where I haven't taken a firm stance one way or the other. Like I'm not vilifying Brittney Griner and saying that she got what she deserved. Like I've had read news headlines where they saying like, man, that's exactly what she deserved. She was a womanizer, she was a woman beater, and this, that, and the third. And she wasn't the best type of wife to her, or husband, or wife, however you want to put the term and terminology to her wife at this current time. And I haven't taken one firm stance, from a standpoint of like, is karma this what she deserves, or, from the standpoint of loosely making her a freedom fighter, if you will. And that's kind of really why I wanted to get into the topic, is because like it's so much deafness to that Brittney Griner situation, and it's gonna spill over into arts and entertainment. It's gonna, of course, spill over into politics. But I guess really what I wanted to say in so many words is what did break my heart is just such the severe penalty that she received. Okay, without any shadow of a doubt, I do believe that we need to get from this standpoint of celebrities being treated uniquely or different than the rest, right? Just because they have abundance of money or can afford high priced lawyers to, drag out cases and things of that nature. I do think that's a disservice to the regular everyday citizen, because it's not equitable. There's no equality. There's no, like I said, it's just not fair across the board. It's not consistent. So, as sad as it is that she got such a harsh penalty, it does go to say that like I'm appreciative that she did get convicted, right? From a standpoint of not just sweeping it under the rug and acting like no, it wasn't rules and laws. Now the unfortunate and sad part about Brittney Griner's situation is like I just wish she was not in a position where she had apparently such a vast amount, because now the news headlines have not released how much exactly she had, but I'm just assuming throughout the harsh penalty that she perhaps had more that was considered a little bit more than recreational or personal use. And I remember seeing the videos of like the interaction at the airport, and them going through her bags and everything. And she did have a few sealed bags, as far as like Amazon bags, or like bags being shipped or something like that. So it made me wonder, was that the actual the drugs or whatever the case that she had actually at that time that was illegal. So I wish she had a little bit more proactiveness to about herself, or her agents, or her managers, even her wife in that case, just her support staff around her, to like, do you think it's good to be traveling with this, especially if you're going in a foreign country, not even a state, a foreign country where it's not illegal, right? So I think that's the sad part. It's like she didn't do, her team or herself didn't do their due diligence to protect themselves. So that's why I don't resonate or see Brittney Griner in this light or this eye or this space of being a freedom fighter. I do believe it's tragic that she got such a harsh penalty. I do believe that this is going to become a political arena, or hashed out in a political arena, simply because Russia's very smart. Russia understands that that's such a significant figure, and then also they understand the longevity that which may come by way of the war that they're having right now with Ukraine. So at some point it may push, just like this idea of the U.S. getting pulled in incrementally. Now, also, what I wanted to say about this Brittney Griner case and why I don't see her as this freedom fighter is because although she needed to become convicted for the U.S. to kind of have somewhat of a negotiating platform to kind of work with the Russian government and embassies and so on to get her back. I dislike the fact that they right away came into the negotiation table and wanting to trade off a prisoner swap, and then from this standpoint of giving away the executioner of death or the mercenary of death, like so you wanna give up this arms dealer right away. So this is where I would like to see more so a higher, deeper level of politics. Why couldn't it be negotiation by way of the form of, okay, you know what, Russia, we'll pay you X amount of dollars for her, right? Or Russia, you know what? Instead of giving you the mercenary of death, instead you give us Brittney Griner back, and then also perhaps we could do some kind of deal where we're trading national debt instead of like prisoner swap, right? You get what I'm saying? Because when you get this prisoner swap, who is this guy like? Who's to say that he won't get back into this world and cause that much more pain and devastation? So if we're going to kind of compare these two, we're comparing apples and oranges. Brittney Griner, they're saying on one case, supposedly beat her wife. But this is a guy that actually sold weaponry that probably killed hundreds and thousands and millions of people. But that's a negotiation of a swap. It's bizarre. That's the point where we should see our politics, like I said, going a little bit deeper for us, being a little bit more creative. That's exactly when I would have liked to see a little bit more negotiation as far as money, natural commodities, land, resources, things of that nature. And it's Bitcoin, things that are not necessarily people, trading people for people. When the people are not even in the same category as far as the crime that they committed. So bizarre stuff that's happening. Now, you know what else is interesting as far as how Russia did that with such a harsh sentence? It's because they know that this is going to be dragged out and it may not be solved in this first case, in this first election time frame, if you will, of this time frame in which Joe Biden is serving. We look at it, he's already 2 years into his presidency. Okay, so this is why I strongly feel Russia gave her such a strong sentence, or such a long sentence, is because even if she does 50% of the sentence, being 4.5 years, that's going to spill over into the next presidential candidate's term. And let's just say Joe Biden is not reelected. Let's say it flops and then it goes at this point in time back to the Republican Party. Do we think the Republican Party might be so proactive and engaging as far as trying to negotiate any kind of solution as far as getting Brittney Griner back? I can't say 100% without a shadow of a doubt. No, but I can say that I feel as though I don't think they will. So we're talking 4 years into that presidential term, but we're talking 2 years left with Joe Biden's term if the negotiations are not don't come to a point where she's successfully released. So then we're talking automatically she's 6 years into a prison sentence. And at that point, if you get another Republican in, then you finish the sentence because that's another 4 years. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Or if you get another Democrat that's a little bit more proactive about it, or a little bit more engaged in it, it might take them a year or so just to get some results. So we're looking at 6 years into a prison sentence plus another year, so 7 years. So you see how it just turned into a game. And this is why she's going to become a political prisoner. But initially, I didn't identify with Brittney Griner as a political prisoner. I didn't identify her as a freedom fighter. I didn't identify her as a person or individual that the blame or the political arena of the global political arena with the Russian and Ukrainian war. I didn't see her right away being such a big figure. But as this thing plays out, you better believe she will become a figure because of everything I just talked about, how we do get to those points where we put our stars on pedestals. All right. And when we put our stars sometime on pedestals, it brings in the full country. And this may be one of those things that brings in the full country simply because we're trying to save a star that did break a law. And why am I so firm and, some may say harsh on this standpoint of like, you do the crime, you do the time? Really, because like, unfortunately, throughout my life, I've been in bad situations where, I didn't get any 100% benefit or I guess you could say benefit or shadow of the doubt. You know, no, I was held responsible for my actions. And those actions I had to, whether that was something that was legal or whether that was something that was personal or whether that was something that I just had to exercise some patience and wait my time out or serve my time if it was a sentence or a conviction or if it was a fine, whatever the case may be. We all find ourselves in those uncomfortable situations. Even as small as you ran a red light and then they sent you the ticket in the mail and you strapped for cash and you're trying to save for rent. But that ticket says you have 14 days to pay or it's going to double. So you might make a decision that, instead of letting this fine or fee double, I'm going to just go ahead and make this payment and make a sacrifice for whatever else I have personally going on in life because I got caught, right? It's uncomfortable. It hurts. It's not the most ideal thing, but at the same token, when you get caught red-handed doing something or you get caught, just kind of operating and drawing outside the lines, sometimes you don't get that benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you don't have a lawyer to introduce mitigating factors. Sometimes you don't have an individual to say that, this is your first time, right? Sometimes it's just real cut and dry. It's just real black and white. Did you do right or did you do wrong, right? So, as unfortunate as that is, and as, sometimes as emotionless as that is, that's just the reality of this Brittney Griner's case. We're dealing with a nation or country, if you will, that's Russia is very that Putin is a shrewd character, like sometimes they could not be over caught up in the emotions of human life, right? And that's what got Russia to the point that it is. That's Russia's notoriety. But like I said, that falls back to a large extent on the shoulders of Brittney Griner and Brittney Griner's team to not put herself in that bad situation, right? So my prayers and my blessings are with Brittney Griner nonetheless, because I do feel as though, we have to get to this place in this world across the board where we're not so harsh with each other and not so punitive for so long. Where, perhaps we could be punitive, just get the understanding, get the message that you're trying to get across as far as, no, this is a law, don't do this or don't break this, whatever the case may be. But to a point where we could understand the value of life. Because 9 years is quite a time. And that's taken away from, the economic boost of the international WNBA women's basketball, just like notoriety and just like people getting their name and things of that nature. But it's also taken away from, of course, Brittney Griner being able to return to America and contribute. But I argue that it's just taken away overall from inspiring, young women that may be in that sport or that line or that vein. But all things work for the greater good. So somehow, some way, God is going to use this and turn this into something great. So even though Brittney Griner may be serving time, or even though we may see this as detrimental to, the minority community, or just detrimental overall politically, God is going to pull something great out of this. You better believe that. So that's really all I have on the topic. Any other, little topic points that I want to add in? Eventually, I'm going to bring this up as a topic in a podcast. But that's it for now. I just thank you guys for chiming in and just listening to me get those thoughts out. But I also, want to hear from you all. How you feel about it? Like, what are some of y'all viewpoints? So, if you want to comment or if you want to, film your own response and tag me in it, I love it. I'm just trying to get the conversation going, keep the ball rolling. So you know how I always do. To the next time my voice meets your ears, no matter what's your vantage point, no matter what's your perspective, just always seek to harmonize this world as we on this journey and we celebrating culture, we increasing understanding, and we building bonds of respect. Until next time, people, over and out. Peace out.